Hello and welcome to episode 14 of our Timberborn 1.0 Waterbeavers playthrough, cycle 14, day 11. And last time at the very end of the episode, we managed to get our very first zipline line up and running between this growing area here and this cutting area for the brambles here with an intermediary stop at the scavenger's junkyard, which, yes, friends, does need to be connected. That was something a number of you noticed, so we'll go ahead and get that queued up right now. And we have a tremendous amount of stuff still to do, but it's looking a little bit better each and every episode, and I think we could be pretty happy with how things have gone. So, this aquifer drill was paused toward the very end of last episode while I was doing a very, very mild time lapse at the end because this had flooded just a tiny bit, so this is okay for right now. We'll want to make sure that before we get the next drought or bad tide that we do get this turned back on so we have as much water as physically possible in here. But for right now, things are looking okay. Speaking of pumping, these two right here that we just added, that's not the right spot to go, do not have the land blasted out underneath them to be able to draw from the bottom of the lake. So let's go ahead and do that. Get those popped in. We'll remember that hopefully at some point in the not too distant future. I also got a number of comments saying, hey, did you put the tooth grindstone back in? And I don't remember. So it looks like the answer is yes, but it is getting pretty popular, so we might want to put a second one in. I will probably just put it over here as well, because this is where most of the cutting is occurring. There's still a little bit available over here. These... Oh, this one wasn't marked for cutting. Let's do that. I mainly just want to make sure that I have as many additional bits of sunflower planted as I can. Oh, by the way, this doesn't need to be marked. We need to have a lot more food. And this has been an issue for quite some time. Hopefully, this will slowly start to improve as we reorganize some things. But I think a lot of the issue, honestly, at this point, is we just don't have enough buildings making food. You'll notice that we've got full storage just about of rice, and we have about 1,000 rice balls. But I don't want to be fully reliant on these things. I know we might as well make as many as we can because, well, why not? But we need to get the rest of these numbers up as well. And braised cabbage is probably still due mostly not to having mushrooms. Mostly due to not having mushrooms. Let's put our words in the correct order there. Get this exploded. There we go. That takes care of that. And I know we moved these up here last time. I have them prioritized. They are working. It's just it takes, 3 1/3 days to make a batch of mushrooms. Probably could use another 2 or 3 of these, to be perfectly honest with you. Wait a second. Oh, never mind. I thought fast was before slow, and then it's been a long week. Yes, I understand that currently it is only Tuesday as I record this, but it's kind of an evergreen statement these days. Everything else is looking okay. We might want to explore getting another zipline section moved over here. We did talk about that a little bit. Because I've got right now just regular zipline station, harvester's cottage, and then this thing up here. We don't necessarily have to have this same one connected here. We'll see. We'll see what happens, because we could have this come out the front side here, just to humor me for a second. That will connect all the way to about here, if I put it on a pylon. Those are not very expensive to construct. We just have to be cognizant of the straight line not getting broken by anything if I were to do something like this. Now, see, the zipline station tower I haven't researched yet, but would not be that difficult to get done. Just have to have the science for it, and this would also have 4 connections, by the way. Could allow us to connect not only to here, but also... we've talked about this before. Other stuff that was mentioned in comments. Primitive paper mill. Maybe didn't need to go exactly in this spot. I'm not going to get rid of it right now. But when we get to the point that we have the ability to make another one of these, which is going to require we have another medium cauldron, which that goes through another building, I do think it's going to make sense to put it over here where we have the Artist's Lodge and the Copyist's Lodge. There's also a comment saying that I need to make sure that I've got a duplicate of the blueprint for the Scavenger's Junkyard. But Scavenger's Junkyard Doesn't use its own blueprint. It uses a zipline blueprint, which we do have currently enough to continue duplicating, so that is actually fine. Right now I've got 8 beavers who are unemployed, so why don't we, just for the benefit of what we're trying to do here, let's just turn both of these buildings back on. Get them reproducing some stuff. I know we were trying to save paper for some other stuff, but, you know, sometimes you just have to get stuff done. Want to make sure I've got everything else. I could put a 4th one here in this harvester's cottage. Might as well go ahead and do that. And I don't remember if I've got full staffing. I don't. Okay, so the scavenger's junkyard actually might be, even though we have full storage, a decent thing to get marked as a lower priority. And just put a couple of extra beavers in here. Maybe we'll just make it minimum priority. How about that? And put 8. Just soak up all those extra beavers. Okay, Lumberjack's barn's already doing Lumberjack barn type things. We probably don't want to let this get too bad again, but I wonder if, because these are connected right here, if we had another zipline station on this side, I'm not saying we need to build one, but that would extend the range of the Lumberjack's barn to be able to do this. I think probably the easiest thing to do, honestly, is just to deploy another set of emergency lumberjack flags. Or build a building. For now... do I want to do a lumberjack's barn? Because I don't want to necessarily commit to having this here forever. But, you know, having this very, very cleaned out, I think, would be a smart thing for us to do. Have that there, maybe... Okay, well, you know what? I can still put it here and reach most of the stuff. Not all of it. Most. And that would not be a completely unreasonable thing. So why don't we do that? We can always put some other building here to upgrade if we really want to. Make sure this is marked. Remember, we're trying to eliminate these. We're farming them down here. We are eliminating them up here. This will also give us some more employment opportunities and so on and so forth. I don't need to sell it to you. Intellectual property was the zipline things. And yes, a couple of you did want me to get the scroll display unlocked. That is, again, a science thing. I guess it doesn't really matter that much for 30 science, but I want to make sure we're still making enough. And this is working for the time being. A casual reminder that the efficient science recipe, while it is better, does also require stuff like green peas, which theoretically you don't really have to have some other use. But it also requires brain-boosting salts, which have to be made in the Alchemist. We cannot make another Alchemist until we have several other buildings constructed. So, actually, well, you know, the tar storage is actually full. So why don't... I'll tell you what. I'll humor you for a second. We'll switch this over and try to make some more fast science. See what we can get accomplished with that. Did they get that other thing done? They did. Alright. We will eventually build storage for all these blueprint things. I just don't think it's the exact thing we need to do right now. Workshop, we already talked about. Let's see. Probably one of the biggest things that's stopping us from really advancing a lot is we don't have a medium mine yet. And that was kind of what I was hoping to do in this area as stuff gets removed. Because if you remember from when we talked about this before, the medium mine has a very specific manner in which it must be constructed. You have these things that have to be tunneled out or blasted out or what have you. I've been told that it is technically possible to do this underground with just tunnels and not have to excavate the entire thing. I don't know that I want to, you know, go through that, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think it's not going to be that big of a deal for us to put one or more of these in this general area as this gets cleaned up. It's just one of those things that, you know, is going to take some time. So let's help it along by making storage for scrap metal and also keeping in mind that the workshop is going to need to be researched and built at some point soon, and that is 300 science. Everything else we're going to have no problem with. But we will have to get rid of the primitive ironworks in order to build this, because we have to get our anvil back, and then at that point we could just make more anvils, and it goes on from there. But I think the workshop and the medium mine are probably going to be our most important buildings to focus on in the near term, if we can find a good spot to put them. Remember, this does take 200 HP, which means up here is not necessarily the best place for this to go unless we're able to harness power with water. And the only real spot that has enough water movement isn't really up here. Isn't necessarily here either. But we do have some amount of movement here, even if it's just really, really small, that we could harness, depending on, where we want to build other buildings, to force through a specific channel or something in that regard. Yeah, I just don't think it's fast enough over here. But remember that we do have another geothermal field we can build on. We have one here. And as I said a long time ago, we've got these down here. This one's not connected to anything. This one's not even been messed with. But if we had enough explosives, and if we... I always think this is a power shaft. If we research the vertical shaft and we have enough scaffolding, which that's another thing we have to unlock, we could just have that come straight up and be fed into some of this stuff. We are probably better off in the grand scheme of things just bringing all this straight up and connecting them on the top instead of connecting them down below and having one shaft go up, just because of the amount of work it would be to send a beaver in here with tunneling. But I don't know that needs to be our biggest priority right now. It probably should be some combination of figuring out where we're going to place this thing, because that does have the second story power input. Just a matter of taking care of what we have to take care of. I also have to be able to get into the front of this thing. There's clearance concerns. This could be, depending on how we want to lay this out, actually a decent place here. I know this looks insane to put this over here, but that would give us a relatively simple access if I just removed a couple of pieces of green peas here. And it's also got the advantage of being, right now, not technically near a zip line, but if we felt like putting a zip line tower on top of this, then we could very easily get away with removing this one and this one, just connecting here to here to here. And it's not too far away from this. Actually, I don't need to pause to do this. I gotta hide the UI again. Yeah, I still think this is probably gonna be, probably gonna be the best place to put it. We just have to have some sort of path we can get it to. 100 HP into this is probably fine, because it's going to be half speed, but, we're not really concerned about speed that much yet. We just want it to work. I will remind you that this requires 0 blueprints, so we don't have to worry about it. But getting more anvils and getting more medium cauldrons, and especially getting chemistry sets. That's the glassware, this thing right here. Of course, we also have to have quartz and methane. Quartz coming from the medium mine, and then methane coming from a couple of different sources. But most likely nenophares would be the easiest one to get. All of these things really help us get our production ramped up for other things. But it all just kind of runs together at some point, and you just have to do it. So I'm going to probably be focused on getting a workshop built, as long as we can get everything else taken care of. These guys are going to be working on that. Gravel flowers seem to be okay. Yeah, just have to do what we have to do. But food is a critical need. Absolutely critical need. And this... honestly, this doesn't seem like it's that bad. We just have to be able to keep up with the mushroom demand. Cabbages are not out, and they are pretty full here. So then it becomes, where can I put more mushroom growers? And this one probably should go somewhere else, if we're being totally honest with ourselves. Yeah, just not a very enviable setup here. What about... Because I know that's currently blocked off. That's, you know, you don't have to be doing rocket surgery to understand that. Let's just crappy platform here and put one of these that is set by default to slow mode. It's still close enough for this to make sense. We just have to have more of this stuff done. Minimum priority workplace. Yeah, those are all good. The issue with rice still remains that we don't have enough storage for the rice balls. And you know, this is probably a good time to bring this back up. I currently have a bunch of hauler segments that we really don't need to have here. And I don't necessarily want to get rid of the buildings I've already built. But in terms of expanding our population, these being unpaused would not necessarily be the thing that we want to do. So, keeping in mind what this represents in terms of accessing this staircase, we probably don't want to get rid of it. However, comma, zip lines exist, so they're still going to be connected if we do. And I'm just going to feel better for not cheesing it quite so much, so I'm going to get rid of this liquid and hauler storage, whatever, and then I'm going to see if I can get this hauler and box storage moved down. I don't know if the clearance is going to let me do that, but let's take a second here and just do ourselves a couple of favors. Is this gonna... Alright. I think, clearance-wise, I should be able to move this and this down too without it being a bad thing. Which means I can get rid of this one and this one. I'd still have one more on the bottom that I wouldn't necessarily have to have, but I could also, depending on how we wanted to do this, I know we have storage... How? That's not that one I wanted. Storage lodges. Are they going to give me a side door? Or okay, no, those are all tower segments. Alright, well. Maybe I will come to regret this, but I think it's best for us now if we just do this. So, just so I remember, we got water in the liquid storage. We've got rice balls in this other thing. I'm going to just get rid of that, and then on top of this, since I do need one more on the bottom, I'm going to do a Builder Lodge tower segment, because we don't really have enough builders. That I'm not going to feel bad about getting beavers in. But this here, hauler and box storage, that's the one that has like the porch. Hauler and pile storage. Actually, pile storage doesn't have the porch. But liquid storage, we know is going to be an important thing. This one, I already said we're going to be using for water purposes, and that has one hauler in it, and that's fine. Let's do box storage. Yeah, okay. Let's see if I can get doorway on this. Oh, is it going to be like this with me? Yeah, okay, so we're going to have to move the billboard. Let's just get rid of that. We'll rebuild it. Because I want this to be rotated that way. This can be, of course, for rice balls. And I might just put a second one on top. Remember that for them to build this from below, they have to be able to go to the side. But to build it from above, which, hint, hint, they can already do, not going to be a problem. They can build that one from below, and then this one that might throw a, you know, I don't want to do this out, but if that happens, we just put a bridge segment off of one of these things and be fine. Okay, so hauler and box storage, we'll do that. And can I put another one on top? I can. Oh, autosave foiled me again. Okay. I just think it makes sense. It makes more sense than what I was doing previously to do this. And this is going to, depending on how I want to play this, I can do this piece right here, which will connect directly to the... Oh, of course, it's going to go around the backside. But that'll work. And then this, should we encounter problems getting this thing built, will also allow them to come to the end of that. That's going to be quite a robust construction project. But remember, I did not delete any builder lodging. It's hauler lodging, which we already have 10 of them working here. This is going to restore, what, 3 of those? that I took out, and some of those were paused anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. We're on day 13. We're probably going to get that drought warning, bad tide warning sometime soon. I am also very aware that this has extremely reduced our storage capacity for rice balls. Going to be okay. There's a bunch of these on the ground that'll get picked up. We'll be fine. Did they start this? They did. Let's prioritize that. How are we looking over here? Making much progress? Not really. Well, that's fine. We're still going to use all of these bramble flowers, but this will make them work a little bit faster having that done as well. In terms of fancifying, okay, we're waiting on, of course, paper. I've got the wooden toys being made. That's actually a big benefit to have those, but all the beavers basically have those. Do I have a storage? I thought I did. Technically, I maybe should have. Maybe I should have that be one of these for all the possession things. That would probably make sense because it's actually a place they live. Okay, and this is waiting on beavers to finish building it. That's fine. Let's get this on triple speed. See exactly what we're working with. Don't let the 421 food scare you too much. Okay, there's that drought warning. Okay, let's get this turned back on. Want to make sure we avoid flooding. But overall, I think things are looking pretty good. We're making progress, and that is what matters. That's the most important thing. So the Builder's Lodge got finished. This isn't actually throwing the I can't... Oh, okay, because there's stairs there. How did... Oh, okay, they came up the top and then stepped to the side to build this. They're gonna get stuck. I don't want that. That's done. Well, they're gonna get stuck on this then because they're gonna stand there. Let's do ourselves a favor and just pause this until... Okay, that's done. So maybe it's just gonna be luck of the draw who comes up through the bottom versus not coming up through the bottom. I also need to make sure we're not flooding stuff with that pump. Not pump being on, but... Oh, I feel like I need to... Yeah, just go ahead and pause this. Yep. Yep, that very, very slightly spilled over, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, this is outside of working hours, so it shouldn't be a big deal. I just want it so that they don't, you know, all fall in here. We do have some more food going on. Well, annoying beaver rescue is, at the very least, interesting content, even if it annoys the insert your favorite word out of me. Come on, day 15. Come on, day 15. Show me the money here. I need them to build this so we can get a little bit of water storage back and also, you know, get that much closer to... No reach... Okay, no. We're not doing this again. Why? Alright, prioritized by haulers. Come on, get in here and water these crops. You know you want to. Alright. There's somebody walking on top of this, there we go, that I don't want to be walking on top of this, and of course now they're not. Please build from the top. Alright, good. Nobody got stuck. Now we've got this thing. We could, if we really wanted to, build a staircase or a ladder in this exact spot here to let them get out to the side. I don't think we need to worry about that yet. I think that is probably okay. Rest of the stuff is looking fine. Paper is a problem. Paper is so slow, and actually getting the paper mill at 250 would probably also be a decent thing to do. I can't be waffling too much about this. Now, having a drought come up is probably going to be helpful to a certain degree for this area up here because it will be unable to spread. This area down here, we already have them working on that, and that's fine. Alright. Somebody, like, please finish at least one of these before this comes up, because we're going to be in some trouble if we don't. Mushrooms continuing to be an issue, but it is what it is. Okay, I've got... No, I had the wrong... There we go. I do want this to be as full as possible before it's too late. I just feel like I gotta keep tabs on all of this stuff. 90% all materials acquired. Just come and finish the job. Get this popped in. And then now that this is connected to the staircase here, we don't have to be quite so beholden to what goes on top of this. Just maybe a little careful. We will see. This has 3 builders on it. That's a good thing for us to have. This just got finished, which means we can pick up rice balls. We've got things that can be plucked off the ground. In fact, let's give them a little bit of a help here. And get this all marked for pickup. I think that's all of it. Should be. Alright. Down to half a day. We still have plenty of water, to be perfectly honest, but I am going to get this turned on. Make sure that we get as much as we can. Continue pumping, so on and so forth. And then, since it's normal mode, it's not going to be more than 9 days. We don't have to worry about it. Just might have to reallocate some stuff for power purposes. Yeah, we should be decent. Should be decent. Just give this a little bit more. It's only supplying 60 something. Oh, that's because it's already starting to slow down. Well, it is what it is. This is about to flood anyway, so let's just hit pause on this now. The only thing drawing power now should be the screw press, and then it's demanding 0 because there's nobody working. So this is not going to recharge because there's not going to be any flow, which is unfortunate, but this way it goes. Yeah, bad water is going to be an issue because we don't have one of those things. That's another thing we should probably do is get the bad water pump up and running. I did talk about putting this down underwater quote unquote, with something flowing over it. I think that's probably going to be something we should do, but again, everything takes science, and right now we just... Oh, this is only 30? You know what? This might actually be a good thing for us to workshop right now. Let's take this out of triple speed. Bad water bucketing posts don't need to be staffed during a drought. It is a 7-day drought. Seeing how this is, I'm going to go ahead and remove these. This is also empty, so that's a good time. Let's talk about this just briefly. This right here does not have to be powered. We do have power here, but this one is staffed by a single beaver. It just has to have bad water flowing over the top. So it is very possible to just blast out 6 pieces. It would have to be 7 because we need a place for the entrance, and that would also have to be something like a staircase or a ladder. We have spirals. But basically, if I'm going to do this, I would have to more or less guarantee that I could keep the entrance free enough. The beavers who are going to work here are still going to have a chance of getting contaminated, but if they have to walk through the bad water every day when they go to work, they're definitely getting contaminated. We don't necessarily want to do that. So 1 hour, you get 3 pieces of bad water if you're using this. Otherwise, each bad water bucketing post, which takes the same amount of beavers to run as one of these, is going to produce in that same hour, like 2/3 of 1 unit of bad water. So obvious why you'd want to be doing this. Now this is clean, and we have dynamite, which means now is the time. So I think what's going to make the most sense, if we can manage it, would be to remove all of these and put in a bad water pump in an excavated space, say here, but buried down 1, so that it would still flow over, which means we need to demolish or blast out here. Come on, autosave. Here, 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 here. And then here has to be a double, but because of the configuration of what's going to go on top of this, it's not going to be a problem. And I already hear you, like, well, what about the spot right here? So, we have options. There is a unit of housing that is... See if I can actually find it, because I know stuff gets moved around. The tall and narrow lodge is an option for us to put on top of the doorway that would block things off. And this isn't a strong enough flow to be a problem. The only issue is this has a single story or first story entrance, and that would also have to have an entrance blasted out, but that is something we can do. I think for now, though... Oh, I'm going to have somebody come down here and build that unless... Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put that here, because that's going to allow them to do that without having to walk down there. We'll come back to that in a second. We do have both of these built now. Okay, I've got space. We are starting to get more braised cabbage. That's good, but I fear it's still not enough. We're almost to 300 science, which I did say was going to go into the workshop, but this is time sensitive, so... K for kaboom, because I do need to still blast this down one more. I think I can safely leave this mostly alone and be fine. Yeah, I don't want to complicate things too much. Okay, these are still not cut down. It's okay. Could be worse. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is when you want to eradicate all of your brambles if you possibly can. Because this is the way that it is. They can't reach anything up here. The range of this only goes to that spot. I don't have a lot of extra beavers, but I think this may be a decent time for us to just say, you know what? Come forth and remove the brambles from this area, and then we'll always have them in other spots. I know it can jump up, but don't forget, we have the technology. In fact, I can have these builders remove these. We have the technology to come in and, one, do way too many projects at once and then be confused as to why stuff is horrible. But two, build a fence. And that will keep most of this area pretty safe. Pretty safe. Not completely, but pretty safe. We do need to have basically this entire thing reinforced with that, but all of this will come in due time. That was already prioritized. Have they done anything over here that's going to make this? Not really. Well, we got some time. Would not be one of these videos without, you know, jumping back and forth between... Why is this overlay locked on? Did I accidentally push something I didn't want to be pushing? I don't know how to turn that off. Okay, I don't want that on. How did I manage to... Okay, well, I guess we're stuck with that because I don't know how to fix it. So, hooray. Hooray! Problems that have to be solved. It's fine. I'm not going to get mad about it. K for kaboom. So that thing is going to go there. It's going to flow directly over the top of this. That needs to be exploded. This can stay here, but it's not really going to be able to do much. That costs science. I'm not going to do that. Probably should have them come and gather all these things. 288 science. I'm going to go ahead and research this so they can start building it. Should I have jumped straight to this? Maybe. But it's 200 HP and this is only going to give us 100. For now, for where we are, this is an upgrade. It is not the end-all be-all, but it is an upgrade that we definitely want to take advantage of if we can. Which we absolutely can. So, that's the way that that is going. Should probably also make provisions for where we're going to put the thing on top, which, like I said, was going to be right here. I should be able to also blast this out if we need to. That's why I'm leaving that there. This could be just a single thing to let them in there. There should not be any cross-contamination. Why in the world do I have these overlays on everything? Okay, I need to make sure I'm marking the rest of these little tiny ones for removal before they can spread. Well, we've got enough to handle this is irritating the snot out of me. We got enough to handle most of this, I think. But I will prioritize this. Come on, there we go. Just because this is, you know, just a little time sensitive. Just a tiny bit. So I need to get this blasted out too. Please do not get exploded. I know as soon as I push K, they're going to walk on top of this because they love doing that. Alright. Alright, so that's going to go there. That's going to go there. And then now... that was the wrong one. That was the wrong one. I did not want that. Well... It's not going to hurt it to just put something else here. Yeah, okay. That also takes science, by the way, if you were curious. Well, I can mostly justify just putting a regular staircase here and that be okay. Or, if we're going to get real smart about it... No, I should not get real smart about it. That's how every bad thing starts. I'm trying to figure out how to... There we go. Okay, so spiral stairs here will get us up to that spot, which means if I get this dynamite done here, that'll bring me up to here to be the same level as this and this, which... Oh, you know what? That's not such a bad thing after all. I foolishly attempt to convince myself. Okay, well this is fine, but I really do need to get the rest of that done. Looks like, yeah, it looks like this is about the only option I've got. So, that's going to go there. I do not think this is going to cause flooding. If it does, like I said, we'll just blow this up. That'll be fine. Nobody walk on this, please and thank you. Okay, so that's going to be an entrance. This better not leak or I'm going to be upset. K for kaboom. K for kaboom. Stairs here. And then, look at that, we accidentally made something kind of decent. Well, that should more or less take care of all of these issues. Why don't we, for the benefit of everybody here, put in a tank, maybe not in this exact spot. Okay, I'll just put it on this side. For bad water, set to supply. This will help massively. Okay, man, I wish I knew how to get these things out of here. This is... Did I just, like, break my tab key or what? Because I know it's not caps lock that does this. It's not... Oh, no. Alt-tab is not what I want. That's a different shortcut entirely for Windows. It's fine. That's taken care of. That's taken care of. Might as well come back over here since we know this is kind of a precarious situation. Okay, well if this is going to be the case, I don't need to worry about putting fences there. Yeah, that's fine. And that shouldn't be able to leap up past this point anyway. That means we can also get rid of these here. This would also be a good industrial area, like we discussed several episodes ago. Oh, man. You know, someone's going to leave a comment saying, oh, no, all you have to do to get the overlays to go away is do X, Y, Z, turn around 5 times, and offer a sacrifice. You're like, okay, no, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and pause these, because we can't really be using any more paper if we want to have anything else accomplished. But we do now have at least 5 of the fancy blueprints, and actually probably only 5, because I don't have anywhere else for those to go. That's fine. How are we doing over here? Oh, some stupid idiot. How'd you get down here? Oh, did you get shoved to the side because you made bad choices? All right. Am I going to have to rescue you? Am I going to have to give you the staircase of shame? Well, you know, sadly for you, little buddy, there isn't anywhere for me to put a staircase. So you are... Oh, no. There's a really stupid movie from like, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago called Pitch Perfect about an a cappella group. Anyway, we watched it on the marching band bus in college like 18 times. Don't ask me how that happened, but that's like how they would like quote unquote own people. There's like, you've been cut off, like, you know, the musical term. Anyway, so this guy's been cut off, and now I have a very vivid memory of that scene of the movie for absolutely no reason. So yeah, this guy's kind of screwed. I'm, you know, oh, you had brain boosting salts and you still made that stupid choice? You are, you know, how much dynamite do I have? I have 33. Okay. Tell you what. I'll tell you what. I will go ahead, perhaps against my better judgment, and I will put in some dynamite so I can save this dumb little beaver. And then, you know, you can make your way back up here to rejoin the land of the living. Assuming, of course, somebody comes and brings this dynamite. Maybe. Who's got the explosives? Come on. I know somebody has to have one of these. Come on in here. There you are. There you are. Get this thing done here. We only have 1.7 days. Alright, so you're going to get K for kaboomed. And then... Oh, I didn't need to pause this because they're not going to be able to do much. Stairs. We'll go here. And what I will do in order to, I guess, maintain access here is I will just... I'll just put a gate there. That'll be fine, because, you know, there may come a time where we want to come down here. And now we have access. So, I guess, in a way, this beaver's bad choices... Look at these guys just yearning for it. Have given us some sort of other options. I don't remember marking the... Oh, I absolutely did. Okay. Okay, that needs to be removed before it's an issue. Is there any other brambles up here? Don't think so. I think we've successfully managed to, you know, solve this problem. So, in the middle of the night, go somewhere else. Go figure it out. Oh, this is also a house, by the way, because everything's a house. That's how this goes. So I need a little bit more beaver storage. I know I have these guys paused, so maybe I don't need more beaver storage. Oh, this is... I know... Stop complaining about it already, but this is really aggravating. Is there like a keybind I'm missing? So I feel like, it's unique building actions. Okay, user interface. Toggle, no, okay, there's no thing for toggle storage overlay, it's just tab. So, what if, okay, I know I can't do Alt-Tab, but that's like a Windows thing. Is it going to yell at me if Control-Tab gets used? I guess I should do a quick scroll check. I don't see Control-Tab on there. Oh, where was I? Let's try Control-Tab. Okay. Now. Fantastic. I have no idea how that got turned on if there wasn't even a keyboard shortcut for it, but I suppose we have solved that problem. Mostly. So they're going to continue harvesting these things, which I guess they do need to harvest. This can be removed. And I'll just keep these things, even though they can't really reach much. Probably best to just put a couple of these over here. Okay, that's too far to be reached. I absolutely have to get those done, because we're about to have water come back in here, and I do not want this growing back up. I believe... that's probably okay. Alright, I got 500 science. Look at these guys. Just like zooming through here. I am going to research the workshop. Gotta hide the HUD to build this because of course I do. And then, if I put this here, is it going to block the... No, it's not. Okay. An important thing to remember with this is that this pipe cannot be built through. And you also can't have the path go past it. So that's another one of those reasons why this has to be like this. But if we go out one more, I'm pretty sure we can get around it. Should not be an issue. Also, we could blast this out and put a ladder here if we really wanted to. I'm going to choose not to at this exact moment in time. But the very first thing I'm going to do with the workshop is make another anvil. Because I just have to make sure I've got the materials for that. I don't have all the coal, but they will mine more of it if I ask nicely. I've got the clay. Yeah, so let's set to saltpeter. Let's remove that and do coal. This is full on metal fasteners. It's full almost on crude saw blades and tools. Let's swap this over to tools just real quick. Unpause that. Because I want them basically to have the anvil be the last thing that comes out of this. I will need the rest of this to be done. That's all fine. No, you fools. You fools. You have to remove this. You have to. Oh, it's going to be bad. Alright. Well, it is maximum priority, so that should be fine. I'm really curious about what this is going to look like flow-wise. I do kind of regret having done this like this, but oh well. It's fine. If you're curious what the intended thing was, it was going to be to have a staircase here and a staircase up here, and then I guess I would have had an extra 2 blocks to play with, but let's be honest, we weren't going to use those anyway. Alright, last night of the drought here. We still have 1,700 water. We're pumping through the whole drought with 11 pumps, including the upgrades. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Now here's where I find out if I somehow forgot something here. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Food slowly improving, kind of. Alright, cycle 15. Now let's see what happens with all this bad water. No matter what, this is still an improvement. Just because the building is 3 times as functional per beaver. At least. Just come on, bad water. Okay, we're not going to be flooding, are we? No? Very good. Yeah, look at this. Look at this go. Alright. This doesn't give any bonuses? No, but that's fine. Okie dokie. So that's going to be coming through here. Did they get this removed? They did. There's nothing else that can... Yeah. I guess another bonus-ish of this is these blueberries can possibly spread over a long enough period of time. This might not be the best setup here for harvesting all of these, but be alright. Why don't we increase our chances of accidentally being useful by putting in some stairs here so they can get at these as well? This probably could use a zipline station, but we're not quite there yet. Everything else is looking okay. Looking okay. I wonder if it's going to be worth trying to put in... no, that's right. Dams in this mod don't work the same way. I was going to say, let's put some dams here so we can raise this level. No, 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 no. We can't. We don't do that here. We can't do that here, even if we wanted to. Yeah, food is just not going fast enough. The braised cabbage, and it does unfortunately still seem to be a mushroom supply issue. However, this is still kind of far away from the. In fact, it's really far away from the mushrooms. Jeez, look at that. They got to go all the way up here. So I think, we want to move this cooking tent, or put a cooking tent somewhere closer to the mushrooms. And then the braised cabbage with the warm storage pot / hand of soup probably can still... Yeah, enough talking, let's just do it. Cooking tent. This is now your new home. You are making braised cabbage. What's the output capacity? 350. Okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Prioritized by haulers. I love that I can do that before they build it. This is now only waiting on the anvil, so... Yeet it, delete it. They'll pick that stuff up off the ground. Probably transpose syllables there, but that's fine. They're going to have to bring that up to there, and then we'll figure that out. Somebody asked me how I choose between yeet it, delete it, and empty a building first. There's not really any way, shape, or form of logic applied to that. It's just, I just do it. But this is not really a building you can empty very easily, so that's fine. Let's get these picked up, get that prioritized. Not that it really matters that much, but we'll get that taken care of. I meant to start building the geothermal engine first, but I did not. T-intersection I'm going to put here, even though I don't really anticipate them actually being able to put much else. That is, I always think that's the 90-degree turn. That's just going to have to be what this is. Geothermal engine, I'm going to build last. Yeah, I'm going to have to, because they have to be able to build this, and they won't be able to walk around this, I don't think. Yeah, let's... I know I have everything prioritized, but that's fine. I just have to have that done. Where is my anvil? Have they already picked that up? They have not. Well, they'll get it figured out, or they are going to have severe problems if they don't. So, off we go, Speed Racer. They have not built that. Is this... I don't know why this scares me so much, but I'm just perpetually afraid this is not going to work. Okay, what else? What else? I know we need more tanks. I know we need more, well, honestly, a whole lot of everything. But I'm not entirely convinced all of our food problems are because I don't have enough stuff planted. Don't get me wrong, that's definitely a big part of it. But I still think we can squeeze a little bit more out. Okay, these are marked for cutting. They are not cutting. Oh. Well, you know, that is definitely a problem. Chestnut storage does not need to be there anymore. You know what? I did say I was going to put a tooth grindstone in one of these, so I might as well do that now. You know, because all right, who cares? I'm just gonna put this on lumberjack flag here and just be done with it. This won't stay here, but I do want them to actually cut this out. Okay, still working on this clay pot they already have, which is good. This is done. No, not yet. Not yet. I need that built. And then I need that built, but that's not prioritized, so that's fine. Any building projects here I need to be aware of? No. Okay, what's the range on... Oh, yeah, alright. Okay. Alright, okay. This needs to be, at this point, justifiably turned into a lumberjack barn. I may be able to actually build lumberjack barn here. Let me just remind myself how this sits. Okay, so that's going to have to be, if I put that there, I would not be able to put another building next to it. This would not really work here. I know I can build stuff on top of a platform, so I think right here is actually going to be probably our best spot to stick this. I know it doesn't cover a ton of space. At least not how this is set up. But that is going to essentially be an infinite amount of, what do you call them, that we can mess with. So, provided I can actually just do this without stuff kind of getting in the way, I'm just going to do it. You don't need to have a fence going through the building, obviously. Do I want to try and tempt fate with another zipline station here? Because that is not even going to reach unless I went to... Yeah, it's only going to reach there. Is that because of distance, or is that because of encountering terrain? It doesn't seem like terrain is the issue. It seems like it's distance. So I know I could get away with that. I could put one of these here. This is really not a great use of this. Maybe Forester. No, Forester can't do this. But since we have this space here, we're currently not doing anything else with it. I'll tell you what. Let's do, and I know I need to research the platforms. Let's do this. Let's remove that. Let's put in the Forester here, because that means this can all be a, what do you call it? Everblossom farm. Depending on how we want to attach this with zip lines, maybe if I got 346 science. Yeah, we're cooking. We got science coming out the you-know-what over here. Oh, and this is done. And it's actually getting everything in order for a new anvil. And that means this can move out of here, which means all of this can move eventually. This is not a great spot for it. This is also braised cabbaging. Now we just need more mushrooms. So many problems being solved today and also creating new problems. Love to see it. That's working. That's working. Do I want to go ahead and research the zipline station? I think we all know what the answer to this is. I think we all know that the answer is yes, because this is really, 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 really going to be cool. Did I play myself? Hold on. Hold on. I did. I did play myself. This doesn't fit. This doesn't fit. Well, that sucks. There's no Tapper Shack, no. Now tell me why, besides ain't nothing but a heartache, tell me exactly why this lumberjack barn is not going to connect. I'm assuming because it's got that thing there. But there's no way to morph this inside. And as far as I know, there's no upgrade for the lumberjack's barn that would do that except the pylon for the large farmhouse. Large farmhouse is basically the same shape, if I remember correctly. I do not remember correctly. Okay, well... okay. Now we're gonna figure this out, because now I have, I've activated that part of my brain that gets really upset when I think I've figured something out and then I know I haven't. Yeah, like, I feel like there's no reason that shouldn't work. Is it just because I haven't approached it at the right angle, or is it because there's a fence? That's happened before, actually. There's a clearance problem with one of the add-ons. Or is it because it's not built that it's not letting me do this? All right, I'm gonna choose not to sound the alarm yet until this is constructed. But something tells me this is not gonna go well. All right, let's get this reconnected. Let's not lose our minds. How are we doing here? Still getting coal and scrap metal, and I don't have coal. No, I do have coal. They're just very slow. Okay. All right. Okay, that has been built. Please do not make me a fool. I'm already capable of doing that by myself. You know, I don't ask for much. I really don't. I have a small tower on the left, and I have a triangle roof building, color-coded, on the right, as advertised. Maybe if I keep clicking forever it'll work. Alright, well... Wait a second. Pay attention to where this is. Now pay attention to where this is. Yep. I don't know how I did it, but I flipped it. I flipped it. How is that even possible? I didn't think the upgradable buildings could be flipped. Well, at any rate, figured it out without having to ask, or without having to read anybody's comments. I know I already asked for them, but... Ah, yes. Oh, that's so satisfying. Oh, doesn't fit. Oh, doesn't fit. Okay. Well, I do want those connected, so why don't we just... Oh, yes. Oh, look at this. It's a thing of beauty. I totally forgot this was an option. Alright, I just need both of those to show up, and looks like right there is the only spot. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, look at this. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. How did I manage to do that? I don't understand, man. Okay, well, point being, once this is fully built, I can remove these path things right here, and we can just plant a whole lot of stuff. More trees, like we need them, but more trees. Actually, yeah, you know what? We could reasonably stop growing trees here and just grow trees up here. Now, is this going to be fully watered all the time? No. Is it going to be poisoned sometime? Yeah. But, it's, you know, it's going to get better. Alright. I did want more anvils before the end of this episode, and I realize now that it may have been, just a little bit too much of a pipe dream. Because I've got coal, I guess. Maybe I should prioritize it by haulers. I know I've got enough haulers to probably make that work. Oh, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, we did this already. It's Etcetera. That's not a word. Etcetera. Factory in operation. Ah, ha 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 ha. You didn't change it. You didn't change it. It's a workshop. Settlement's now capable of producing a wider range of mechanical improvements. Recommend upgrading several earlier production facilities. Proper paper mill. Yep, where that's on the list. Rope maker is not on the list, but should be. Industrial kitchen is on the list. Deep pumping house. Yeah, we have to replace all of our pumps, and since, you know, people seem to keep thinking this is a big deal, I guess we can move these. I don't really think it's that big of a thing. But we will do that. Deep pumping house is approximately 33% more efficient. Yep, we talked about that. Do not provide the convenient flat roof required for certain structural upgrades. Wait a second. Okay, that's a change then. Because there used to be... wait, no? Okay, hold on. Nope, that's how I expect that to look. Ah, okay, so this is the old upgrade model. That's fine. I'm willing to accept that. Okay, the way that was worded made me think. Anyway, we're good. We're good. Paper mill, 250 science. We're actually not that far off. It has a 3rd-story power entrance, which, guess what? Not that far away. Not that far away. And that could even be reasonably buildable here. Not that we're generating enough power from any of this. But fear not, because we have the opportunity, should we choose to accept it, to expand this tunnel and have geothermal field stuff piped all the way over to here. I'd probably go on this side and then go across, just because these are swapped. But that is going to be... Do I have the materials for this? Yeah, you know, we can do it. Let's just queue all this stuff up right now, because I know if I don't, I'm going to regret it. Yeah, let's just have that going. Remove here. We'll go straight across. And then they can't reach these anyway, so who cares? I got tons of wood. I'm not going to worry about just removing all of these. This is going to be so nice, having all that taken care of. So why don't we go ahead? I can't unlock it yet, but we can prepare a place for it. That will be not there, but where did I say? We could go here, or we could go here. Get that back up. If I went here, this would line up more or less perfectly. No, I know. This downward power shaft, I don't think can be turned into anything without using enough science to get a... I don't want an upward T-intersection. I want a... Oh, boy. Adaptive horizontal, no. Universal power shaft is probably too much. Downward T-intersection, see, downward T-intersection is not going to give us what we want, so maybe it has to be the upward T, and then that would come around here, which would not really fit what I want it to do. Maybe I should just get the universal power shaft unlocked, but that's 200... okay, well, we have enough time for that to be a next episode thing anyway. So I guess, let me know your thoughts on that, but I do think we're going to do that. Bureau of Intellectual Property still wants the scroll display. That can wait. That's still working fine. This is almost done. Don't tell me I'm out of tools. No, I'm not out of tools. Good. How close are we to... Oh, we got the black smoke. They have not elected a pope, but they are electing a new anvil here. Let's see. That gonna be done before I finish this episode? Maybe, if I start the end stuff now. I know I'm gonna want to make at least a couple of these, so why don't we just do that? Oh, I did say that I wanted to put this on as well. Come on. There we go. If I put this here, it's very, very important that I figure out exactly which towers this will connect to. Okay, so that will go to that other one. It's too high of an angle to go to the others, but, okay, maybe we'll have to do something else, but regardless, this is still fine. I do want to put one over here. Hopefully. Let me check I can do that before I embarrass myself again. Yes, okay, good. Well, I guess this is as good a time as any, as I always say, to thank the Beard Boosters for their contributions to the channel so we can keep doing this exactly the way we've always done it, and make some nice progress without necessarily having to worry about catering to the algorithm or any of that stuff. We just have fun playing with beavers and enjoying some good company. Overall, a very positive community, and I really appreciate that, especially these days. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff going on, and I think a lot of people just want to be able to relax and enjoy having some fun without having to worry about all that. And in some small way, I hope that's something you can glean from these videos. But always going to appreciate you, even if you're not on that list. You already know. Let's check and see. 68%. Well, if I'm going to have more than one of these going, then I guess it's fine to just go ahead and end it here. We'll come back next episode and check that out a little bit later this week. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on getting that paper mill put in, power routing or positioning or whatever. I think it's probably pretty cut and dry in that regard, but always appreciate your input. So, whatever it is you're doing, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.